Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are going to break down one of the most important ideas in all of finance, the investment portfolio. So whether you're literally just starting out or you're looking to sharpen up your strategy, really getting what a portfolio is, well, that's your first big step toward building wealth.
So you're ready to put your money to work. That's awesome. But, investing without a real plan is kind of like jumping in a car for a road trip with no map and no GPS. Yeah, you'll be moving, but are you actually getting anywhere you want to go? In the world of finance, your portfolio is that map. It is the one tool that makes sure you end up where you're trying to be.
All right, so let's get right to it. What is a portfolio really? Well, at its heart, it's just a collection. But, and this is a big but, it is not just some random pile of stuff. Think of it more like a carefully chosen team of players where every single one has a specific job to do.
Okay, so the official definition is that a portfolio is the entire collection of all your financial assets. And that word entire is so important. We're not just talking about that one hot stock you bought. Nope, it's the whole shebang. Your stocks, your bonds, maybe some real estate, even the cash you have on the side. All of it, working together as a single unit. Each piece has a role to play in hitting whatever your goal is, whether that's saving for a house or planning for retirement.
So what are these building blocks? Well, you've got your usual suspects. Stocks are kind of like your offense. They're the engine for growth. Then you have bonds, which are like your defense. They're there to stabilize things, provide some income, and just generally lower the drama. Real estate can be a great way to protect against inflation. And cash, well, cash gives you flexibility and a safety net. Each one is a totally different player on your team.
And this, right here, might be the most important idea to really get. A portfolio success isn't just about picking a few winners. It's all about the teamwork. You could have a bunch of all-star players, but if they don't play well together, they're going to lose to a well-coached team every single time. The whole goal is to build a portfolio where the whole is so much greater than the sum of its parts. Okay, so if the portfolio is your team, how do you decide who's playing which position and for how long? Well, that brings us to the game plan itself, what we call asset allocation. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this is probably the single most important decision you, as an investor, are ever going to make. It sets the whole strategy. To put it simply, asset allocation is just how you decide to slice up your investment pie. It's the decision about what percentage of your money goes into stocks, what percentage goes into bonds, and what goes into cash. And this blueprint is absolutely critical because it's the number one thing that's going to determine both your potential returns and your risk. It's where you decide if you're building a speedboat for high growth or a steady tanker that can weather any storm.
And of course, this is not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. Just look at these two profiles, right? On one side, you've got a young investor. They're playing the long game. They want growth, and they've got decades, so they can handle the ups and downs of the market. Then, on the other side, you've got a retiree. Their game is totally different. They need to protect what they have and make sure it generates a steady income. Same sport, completely different strategies.
Now here's what those different strategies actually look like in practice. See that? The young investor's portfolio is aggressive, right? It's loaded up with stocks, 80%, for that maximum growth potential. The retiree? Theirs is way more conservative. They've got more in bonds for stability and income, plus a little cash on the side. Each one of these pie charts is a perfect reflection of their goals and how much risk they're willing to take.
Look, if you take away only one thing from this whole section, please let it be this. For the vast majority of us, getting the asset allocation right is so much more important than trying to pick the next hot stock. Your overall blueprint, that big picture strategy, is going to have a much, much bigger impact on your success than any single investment you could ever make. You've got to get the big picture right first.
All right, theory is great and all, but how do you actually do this? How do you put it into practice? Let's walk through a really simple 5-step plan to build your very own portfolio, right from scratch.
The whole process really breaks down into these 5 key steps. First, you've got to know what you're saving for and how long you have. Then, you have to be really honest with yourself about your risk tolerance. How much volatility can you stomach? From there, you pick your asset allocation, your big picture blueprint. After that, you pick your actual investments. And for most people, simple, low-cost ETFs or index funds are perfect because they give you instant diversification. And finally, and this is so important, you have to check in every so often and rebalance to make sure you're still on track with your original plan.
And please, remember this. The most perfect, genius-level plan is completely useless if you can't actually stick to it. The market is going to go up and down. It's going to test you. The real key to success over the long run isn't some super complex strategy. It's just discipline. It's having a simple, solid plan and sticking with it no matter what. Consistency, my friends, is your greatest asset.
So in the end, a portfolio is really so much more than just a list of stocks and bonds. It's a story. It's the story of your goals, your dreams, your timeline, and your vision for your own future. So the real question you have to ask yourself is, what story will yours tell?